All right, what's up, YouTube? So I was just trying to fill somebody in on just basically a summary of my targeting. Some of the high points that really blew me away. Some of the things that nobody can deny, the undeniable evidence. For because this shit is hard sometimes to see who's real, who's not, and the games that they play, you have to really look into somebody and you have to look at the whole picture to be able to discern who's real, who's fake. I mean, it does take a little bit. On the surface, they can trick people. They can really easily trick people on the surface, to think that they're real, and then they gaslight you, and then it ends up biting you in the ass. So it's important for people to realize I mean, if there's anyone that thinks that I'm fake or anything, I don't. I mean, I don't care, but But it doesn't serve what I'm trying to do if people think I'm fake. So this is just a small. This is just a quick summary. I mean, just a summary of some of the shit that I've experienced, and I have receipts to back up everything I'm talking about here. Okay, so I'm just gonna let the speech to text here do the work and read this to you. Sorry about that. I hope you don't mind it, but this is a good 5 or 6 minutes here of just this. Like I said, this is just a summary of some of the stuff that they've done to me that nobody can deny, and it's just it should blow everybody right out of the. It should blow everybody away. Some of this stuff, like it blows me away. This is not normal stuff. So with that, I'm just gonna go ahead and read
I
this.
have legitimate evidence from earlier in my targeting that proves they did some really shady illegal shit. I called the FBI a couple years ago and they just blew me off and hung up on me. I reported the stalking and harassment to the county DA's office around the same time and they told me to call and report it to the state police. When I tried to do that, they just played this game where one place would tell me to call the other place and vice versa. So I tried to report it to the Attorney General's office and never heard anything back. I am guessing they just blocked my report from ever making it to the AG's office, just like they were preventing calls and voicemails from getting to me. They actually hacked my online account to the Megan's Law website because I was signed up to get notified anytime my brother Henry had any changes at all, but never got them. But I would get the alerts about anyone else in my area, and when I regained access to my account, my brother was still listed as one of my tracked offenders. The state police officer I talked to said I should have gotten at least 2 or 3 email alerts about my brother and couldn't explain how that could have possibly happened or why I wouldn't have gotten the alerts. They pretended that the apartment next to mine was vacant for almost a year. I determined that there was nobody living there. The maintenance guy and the property manager were in on the whole thing, along with the mailman and most of my neighbors. They did so many things to let me know without a doubt that they could see me inside my own apartment. One of my neighbors told me that she worked for the local drug task force, and I personally heard the chief of police from the next town over on her voicemail twice. I started warning my friends and people I cared about to stay away from her, and that's when my targeting started. Then one day, she was dead and all the people involved acted really weird and demonstrated how bad of actors they really are. I don't know if that woman is really dead or if she is in some witness protection program or something, but a lot of details just don't add up. I have evidence that they actually intercepted my Amazon packages when I purchased new phones, and they must have sent me their own devices. I did a return on one of the iPhones I bought, and after I sent the phone back, they would refund me. I put an empty box addressed to my mom's house in the mail and made sure people watched me do it to make them think that I sent that iPhone back. I got an email a couple days later from the seller saying they got the tracking info and issued my refund. Problem was, I still had the iPhone that was originally sent to me. Someone sent them a device back once they thought I mailed out a package with the pre-printed shipping label on it. So they must have had a copy of the label that was emailed to me and used it to send the original device I ordered back to the seller. I was blown away, so to be sure, I reached out to the seller and asked them if they received a physical device back from me, and they confirmed that they did. The iPhone that was sent to me was in my apartment that they trespassed me from, so they were able to cover that part up, but there's no explanation for the rest. I still have the correspondence from the Amazon seller. After I talked about this on YouTube for the first time, Officer Dealhole tried to kill me again. The very next day to be exact. I'm pretty sure that's why they tried to kill me when they broke into my apartment and arrested me at gunpoint in front of my son when he was 11. They just didn't plan on my son being there to record the whole thing and preventing their dumb asses from killing me. I tell him all the time how he saved my life, but they gaslight him all the time to think I'm crazy, so I'm not sure if he realizes the gravity of the whole thing. He's starting to realize just how smart his dad is and how crazy these people are. He's definitely still traumatized to this day from when the police, unannounced, broke into his home, pointing their guns at us like crazy people, and arresting his dad without any good reason. And without a warrant. They also did some really crazy shit when I went to Sam's Club to get all new iPhones for me, my kids, my son and my daughter. I've never seen so many gang stalkers in one place in my life. We were gonna send in our old phones to get trade-in value, so I even bought two refurbished iPhone 8s from Amazon just to turn in for the trade-in value because they gave us more credit for them than they cost. Then after we placed the order and spent almost $1,000 towards four new iPhone 12s, someone pretending to be me called and cancelled the order and the transaction disappeared as if it never happened. I still have the actual original order form I got the day we did it. I have so much evidence to prove that I've been illegally surveilled and targeted by a bunch of people that work in law enforcement or local government and by people who are employed by the Cambria County Courthouse. I don't have any evidence to suggest that this is some huge federal conspiracy or anything. More like a bunch of local people just abusing their power and doing shady shit to cover their ass. I do, however, think that this is a common practice among all law enforcement, and that's why we see the same thing being done to people all across the country. I just need to find the right person to report these crimes to. That's the hard part.
And I just wanted that. I mean, there's way more than that. That's just a brief summary. Okay, like different shit. Like somebody paid me and my son's cell phone bill for 3 months one time at the end of, I think it was at the end of 2020. Somebody did that. Um, somebody was getting my voicemails because they gave me all my voicemails from a 2 week period all at one time. And the first and last message that they gave me was from this gun store that I purchased my firearms from. And I think they did it because they knew they had to, because like I said, it's law enforcement doing it. So if law enforcement is doing this, they they it's like they have to follow the rules, but the shit that they're doing, like it would have implicated them in a more serious crime if they wouldn't have given me these voicemails. These voicemails was the gun store saying that they needed to I needed to sign somewhere where I missed a signature on the forms where I purchased my firearms, right? And it turned out it was legitimate. I guess I did need my signature on those forms because they send it in to get audited, and the gun store would get like marks against them, right? Now it just so happens that the person I suspect of being involved in this, the chief of police in Patton, Travis Schilling, his daughter worked at that store. There's other people that work at that store from Patton. Isn't that crazy? And I also find out that to get put on one of these lists, it could be as easy as missing a signature on a an application for a gun. When you go to buy a gun, if you miss a signature. Now, I'm not saying I missed a signature. I'm saying that it was set up and designed so that when I purchased my firearms, they probably forged the documents to make it look like I missed a signature, just so they could open up an investigation like this and put me on a list, right? And that would give them, the legality to do the surveillance on me. The people that know how this stuff works would know exactly what to do, right, to extend an investigation. And that's all they're after. They're not trying to solve crimes. I could show you a video on my YouTube of an FBI whistleblower who explains this. He explains it in detail, and he got out because he it wasn't right. He knew it wasn't right. So he got tired of doing nothing, just following people around based on nothing. And he's the one. He even says specifically how something as simple as missing a signature, missing a form, a box on an FFL paperwork. You know, the federal firearms licensee paperwork when you go to buy a firearm can get you put on these lists. Okay, and the whole purpose of their investigations was not to solve crimes; it was to find more information to open another investigation. That's the whole point. Because they need to keep the money coming in. They need to maintain so many investigations. It's like a quota. It's like a fucking business. Like all these people getting hired after 9/11 to do these investigations on so-called, threats, right? And threats to the national security, right? Possible threats of terrorism and stuff like that. Well, once they start these investigations, they don't want the money to stop. So all they need to do is come up with, and present information that they received from the investigation that would allow them to open another investigation, and they can keep it going. They can include their family members, their friends. You see what I'm saying? You see how this could turn into a great big fucking criminal conspiracy where they're just lying about people. They're just straight lying about people to have money come in, to funnel money in from the federal government, from the Homeland Security, right? And they're sworn to secrecy on it because if they're doing this, they can't say anything or else they would reveal the means, the methods, the tactics and methods of the Homeland Security, right? And these intelligence agencies, and they would get charged with espionage. Okay, that's what happens. That's how that works, and they would never see the light of day again. So that is what would keep all these people so afraid of being a whistleblower, saying anything. They can't. They're fucked. They're stuck in this shit. They can't say anything. But somebody needs to blow the whistle on this whole thing because there's a pile of taxpayer dollars getting spent. I mean, a pile of taxpayer dollars getting spent on nothing. On nothing. Just they're just lying about people that they don't like, people that they want to destroy their life. They pick people they don't like, and they use them to funnel money and to do these investigations, Homeland Security investigations. I believe 100% that's exactly what's going on here. That's exactly what happened with me. I truly believe it. The only way to find out is for somebody who has the clearance, right? Somebody who has that security clearance and has integrity. Somebody who's has integrity and can look into this, right? To take a look at it and expose this because you're going to be exposing a much bigger crime than anything I've ever done. You know what I mean? I mean, if I they would just charge me if there was anything that any crimes I actually committed. They, you know what I mean? They're not going. They know they're not going to get any more information from me to open any more investigations. They know it's done. It's a done deal. You know what I mean? They don't want the attention now that I've started my YouTube channel and shit. And that's probably why I don't see any cops anymore. They don't follow me around anymore. They stay away from me like the fucking plague, man. It's crazy. But like I said, if somebody with the clearance, with the power to look into this, could fucking just look into what I'm talking about. You're gonna uncover so much more. I don't have the ability to do it. I've tried already. They won't. They ignore me. They blow me off. So I would say start there, right? Start there with the people that are blowing me off. They don't want me. They don't want me reporting this shit. Why? The only. It's gotten so out of hand, so crazy that just based off of the way people treat me and the way that they treat me whenever I talk about this or tell them about this, it it's unbelievable how many people are actually involved in one way or another. I don't know if they're getting kickbacks from official people or what. I don't know what ties them into it or if they're actually involved in the program. I don't know. But the truth is there's a lot of people in this tiny little fucking town that are involved in this, right? And it's a lot of fucking taxpayer dollars are getting spent on this shit. People are just they're basically robbing Americans, taxpayers. They're robbing you. They're fucking stealing your taxpayer dollars to do this. That's what they're doing. And they're lying to you in their you know what I mean? This is a huge crime. This needs to be uncovered. Somebody with integrity who has the ability to look into this needs to fucking look into what I'm talking about. or you could just call me crazy too, like the rest of them do. I mean, I'd like to think that there's part of the system is not corrupt, that there are still good people that work in the system. I would really like to think that. I would really like to think that this is an opportunity for, if that's true, this is an opportunity for you to prove that. You can prove that, and you can regain some trust from people. You can redeem yourself. Because let's face it, people don't really trust the government right now, especially the intelligence agencies. But if you were to do the right thing and do your job, right, and you uncover a scheme, and you stop a crime or a scheme that it saves a tremendous amount of taxpayer dollars and uncovers crooked, corrupt fucking officials in the process. I mean, you would, I would say that would be that'd be a pretty big deal, a pretty big step in the right direction as far as regaining trust in our law enforcement, in our intelligence, in our homeland security, right? If it's that legit and we need the homeland security, then it's time you guys actually start doing something. I took an oath to defend this country from all enemies, foreign and domestic, and I'll take that oath with me to my grave. I swore that oath, and I will always uphold that oath. And what I see going on right now is I don't know how you can see it as anything other than domestic terrorism. It's fucking domestic terrorism happening to your fellow innocent American citizens. So how can you stand by and just blow it off and ignore it? If you have the power to look into it, you have an obligation to look into it. You have a responsibility to look into it. You took an oath. So don't worry about yourself for fucking 5 seconds, and think about the big picture. Think about the entire institution of it. Think about how positive it would be for the whole big picture. Yeah, you might go through some shit, but guess what? Freedom is scary. Deal with it. So with that being said, I don't know. Hopefully this gets to somebody and does the right thing. I don't know. I don't have the highest hopes, but you never know. I still have hope that there's still good people working in law enforcement that have integrity. So with that being said, let's see what happens. Be good or be good at it. Peace out.